In a weekend interview on failed MSNBC, Jen Psaki sits down with Stacey Abrams to talk about Fani Willis. It is not good news for them. Welcome to Doug in Exile. I'm Doug TeNapel. This is where all the happy people are. Of course, that's why you should subscribe and join us and leave a comment below. If you think what Fani Willis has done, has it helped Trump or hurt Trump? Let's check out the interview.
You have not spoken extensively about the case against Donald Trump and his co-defendants. So let me just start with
of all the people who should be quiet about that case of denying elections, Stacey Abrams knows, shh, I better not say anything about this one. I'm going to do a quick stop here over on Benny Johnson's Twitter on another subject. He says Stacey Abrams claims that the reason people think Kamala Harris is incompetent is because of misogyny and racism. That is so boring, I don't even want to cover it, but it's kind of obviously stupid because a lot of people think there are other candidates that are failures that are Democrats, and it's not because they're Black women. So she is just another failure who happens to be a Black woman.
We have seen 4 people plead guilty early on, and we know that there are additional defendants, including the former president. The responsibility we have is to keep our eye on the ball, which is that this is about election conspiracy and attempting to undermine how our process works. No politician is entitled to win. I know that personally.
Yeah, you know what? That's a huge admittance of guilt. She knows it personally, that denying elections is not the way to go.
But we are all entitled to trust the process. And when that process is threatened by outside actors who are willing to undermine election security and undermine and commit fraudulent acts to achieve their ends, then they are thwarting the will of the people. Yes, we have the right to question systems. Absolutely.
She's right. We have a right to question the system, but when outside actors come in and try to undermine the machine of democracy, like Democrats who try to take Trump's name off the ballot, this is a huge cell phone. She is only tearing into Fani Willis here. They don't know it because they're ignorant and because they're Democrats and they're blind to themselves. There's no introspection going on, but they're the bad guy.
But what we do not have the right to do is manufacture information and manufacture crises in order to achieve political ends.
They're manufacturing information. Who did the Trump Russia document? Who got over 50 FBI members to say that Hunter Biden's laptop was fake when it was real? They manufactured the information. So by their own standards, they're guilty of being dangerous to democracy. Democrats.
So you have, of course, run for office in Georgia. You've hinted that you don't necessarily think that Republicans in Georgia will be moved by these indictments or this process unless there's something significant that happens. I heard that, or it analyzed it as hearing that as a conviction. Do you think something like that could play out in the court system between now and next November? Is that even possible?
Oh, they're hoping it happens before the next election, and it's not going to happen. Jen Psaki's going, you mean it's not going to work? You mean all this work we're doing is not going to affect the election? That's what it's all about. They're admitting guilt. They're admitting their own timeline. This whole thing was only brought up because of that timeline to affect the results. And she's going, Fani Willis, look, you failed if you don't get this thing done by the election.
We need to focus on what good can we get done and not presume that a conviction is going to necessarily change the belief system of someone who really likes what he does.
Stacey Abrams here is telling the Democrats, her own party, look, what you're planning to do is not going to work. It is not going to change enough voters' minds. Huge revelation. Huge admittance of failure.
That is such an interesting point, because intellectually, many people who share our views might say, well, if he's convicted, then that will change people's minds. In your view, it sounds like you're saying it may not. It probably won't.
Well, that's news to Jen Psaki. It's not news to those of us who are Trump fans who've said we'll vote for him even if he's in prison. They're going like, wait a minute, if he's convicted, it's not going to change their mind? That's right. Fani Willis failed on every turn. This scam, this plan is not going to work. And that's good news for us. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Of course, please follow us. Please click like, because we're going to be mocking them and having a great victory parade. I'm Doug in Exile.